Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about something that's a huge part of our modern diet, often without us even realizing it. Added sugar is everywhere, in sodas, candies, and even foods you wouldn't expect, like bread, pasta sauces, and so-called healthy snacks. It's become so common that we often overlook its impact. But here's the thing. Did you know it can seriously harm your health? This isn't about shaming anyone for enjoying a sweet treat now and then. This is about understanding what happens inside our bodies when our sugar intake gets too high, day after day. The science is clear, and the evidence is overwhelming. Consuming too much added sugar is linked to a long list of health problems, from the obvious ones like weight gain to more sinister issues like heart disease and even accelerated aging. It's not just about empty calories, it's about a cascade of metabolic effects that can disrupt your body's natural balance. Knowledge is power, and my goal today is to give you that power so you can make informed decisions about what you eat and protect your long-term health. It's about taking control and feeling your best. So stick with me because we're going to get into the nitty-gritty details. We're not just going to skim the surface. Let's break down the top 8 reasons why too much added sugar is dangerous. We'll explore the science behind each point, so you can see exactly how this common ingredient can become your health's worst enemy. By the end of this video, you'll have a much clearer picture of why cutting back on sugar is one of the best things you can do for your body. Let's get started. First up, and perhaps the most well-known consequence, is the link between added sugar and weight gain. When you consume sugary drinks or foods, you're taking in a lot of calories very quickly, but these calories are empty. They lack the essential nutrients your body needs, like fiber, protein, vitamins, and minerals. Because there's no fiber or protein to slow digestion and signal fullness to your brain, you don't feel satisfied. This often leads to overeating, as your body is still craving the nutrients it didn't receive. It's a vicious cycle. You eat something sweet, your blood sugar spikes and then crashes, and you're left feeling hungry again shortly after, reaching for another quick fix. This constant overconsumption of calories, particularly from sugar, leads to fat accumulation. But it's not just any fat. Excess sugar, especially fructose, is processed by the liver and is particularly efficient at being converted into a type of fat called visceral fat. This is the dangerous fat that wraps around your internal organs like your liver, pancreas, and intestines. It's metabolically active and releases inflammatory substances and hormones that interfere with your body's normal functions. High levels of visceral fat are a major risk factor for a host of chronic diseases, which we'll be diving into next. So the problem goes far beyond just the number on the scale. Let's talk about insulin and how sugar throws a wrench in the works, leading to type 2 diabetes. Every time you eat sugar, your blood glucose levels rise. In response, your pancreas releases a hormone called insulin. Insulin's job is to act like a key, unlocking your cells to let glucose in so it can be used for energy. This is a normal, healthy process. The problem arises when this system is constantly overloaded. A diet high in added sugar means you're constantly spiking your blood glucose, forcing your pancreas to work overtime, pumping out more and more insulin to try and manage the load. It's like constantly revving a car's engine into the red zone. Over time, your cells start to become less responsive to insulin signal. It's as if the locks on your cells are getting worn out from the key being used too aggressively and too often. This condition is known as insulin resistance. Your pancreas tries to compensate by producing even more insulin, but eventually it can't keep up. Blood sugar levels remain chronically high, and that's the hallmark of prediabetes and eventually full-blown type 2 diabetes. This isn't something that happens overnight. It's a slow, gradual process driven by consistent dietary habits, with high sugar intake being a primary culprit. Many people associate heart disease with fatty foods, but sugar is a major, often overlooked villain in cardiovascular health. The data is shocking. Studies have shown that people who get a significant portion of their daily calories from added sugar can have up to a 38% higher risk of dying from heart disease. So how does this happen? Excess sugar consumption contributes to several key risk factors. For one, it can lead to higher levels of triglycerides, which are a type of fat that circulates in your blood. High triglycerides can harden arteries, increasing the risk of stroke and heart attack. Furthermore, a high sugar diet can wreak havoc on your cholesterol profile. It tends to raise levels of LDL, often called the bad cholesterol, particularly the small, dense LDL particles that are most likely to clog your arteries. At the same time, it can lower your HDL, the good cholesterol that helps remove excess cholesterol from your system. On top of that, excess sugar can contribute to high blood pressure and chronic inflammation, both of which put immense strain on your heart and blood vessels over time. It's a multi-pronged attack on your cardiovascular system, all stemming from that sweet tooth. When we talk about liver damage, most people think of alcohol. But there's another substance that can be just as harmful when consumed in excess sugar, specifically fructose. Fructose is a type of simple sugar that makes up about half of table sugar and is the main component of high fructose corn syrup. Unlike glucose, which can be used for energy by almost every cell in your body, large amounts of fructose can only be metabolized by your liver. When you consume a lot of it, you're essentially sending a massive workload directly to this one organ. It's like a factory getting a shipment it wasn't designed to handle all at once. The liver does its best to process this fructose, and one of the primary things it does is convert it into fat. Some of this fat gets exported, but a lot of it can build up right there in the liver. Over time, this accumulation of fat can lead to a serious condition called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, or NAFLD. This condition causes inflammation and damage to liver cells, and in severe cases, it can progress to cirrhosis, which is irreversible scarring of the liver, and even liver failure. It's a silent disease that often has no symptoms in its early stages, making it all the more dangerous. Inflammation is a natural and essential part of your body's immune response. It's what helps you heal from an injury or fight off an infection. However, when inflammation becomes chronic, meaning it's low-grade and persistent, it becomes a major driver of almost every modern disease. And a diet high in added sugar is one of the biggest pro-inflammatory dietary factors. When you consume excess sugar, it can lead to the production of harmful compounds, like advanced glycation end products, which we'll cover more later, and uric acid, both of which trigger inflammatory responses in the body. This chronic, low-level inflammation disrupts normal metabolic and immune processes, creating an environment where diseases can thrive. It's been linked to a staggering number of conditions, including heart disease, diabetes, and certain types of cancer. It can also worsen autoimmune conditions and contribute to joint pain and arthritis. Think of it like a smoldering fire inside your body that never quite goes out. It constantly puts stress on your cells and tissues, weakening your body's defenses and paving the way for long-term health problems. Reducing sugar intake is a key step in extinguishing that fire. This one might seem obvious, but it's worth a detailed look because honestly the damage can be extensive. The link between sugar and poor dental health is direct and undeniable. Your mouth is home to a complex ecosystem of bacteria, some helpful, some harmful. The harmful bacteria absolutely love to feast on simple sugars. When you eat a cookie or drink a soda, you're not just feeding yourself, you're providing a 5-star meal for these destructive microbes. As they metabolize the sugar, they produce acids as a byproduct, specifically lactic acid. This acid is the real enemy of your teeth. It attacks the hard, protective outer layer of your teeth called enamel. Over time, this constant acid bath demineralizes and erodes the enamel, creating weak spots. Eventually, these weak spots can become holes, which we know as cavities. But the damage doesn't stop there. The buildup of sugary plaque can also irritate your gums, leading to inflammation, a condition known as gingivitis. If left untreated, this can progress to periodontitis, a more severe gum disease that can destroy the bone supporting your teeth, leading to tooth loss. Have you ever found yourself craving something sweet, and then, once you have it, you just want more? You're not alone, and there's a biological reason for it. Eating sugar triggers the release of dopamine in the reward center of your brain, the same neurotransmitter involved in the response to addictive drugs and behaviors. This dopamine release makes you feel pleasure and reinforces the behavior, making you want to do it again. It's a fundamental survival mechanism that evolved to reward us for finding energy-dense foods, which was a good thing for our ancestors. However, in our modern world, where hyper-palatable, sugar-laden foods are available 24/7, this reward system can be hijacked. The intense and frequent dopamine hits from sugar can lead to classic signs of addiction-like behavior, including intense cravings, a loss of control over consumption, and building a tolerance, meaning you need more and more sugar to get that same pleasurable feeling. This makes it incredibly difficult for many people to cut back, even when they know it's harming their health. It's not just a matter of willpower, it's a powerful biochemical drive. If you want to keep your skin looking youthful and your body feeling vibrant, you need to be aware of a process called glycation. When you have excess sugar in your bloodstream, that sugar can attach itself to proteins and fats, forming harmful new molecules called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs for short. This process is completely natural, but a high-sugar diet dramatically accelerates it, leading to a massive buildup of these damaging compounds throughout your body. Think of it as a form of caramelization happening inside you. One of the main targets for AGEs is the proteins that make up your skin's support structure, collagen and elastin. Collagen provides firmness, while elastin provides elasticity. When AGEs form on these proteins, they become cross-linked, stiff, and brittle. This damage manifests externally as wrinkles, sagging, and a loss of radiance in your skin. But this is not just a cosmetic issue. AGEs accumulate in all of your body's tissues, including your organs, arteries, and joints, contributing to stiffness, dysfunction, and the overall aging process. So, in a very real sense, a high-sugar diet can make you age faster, both on the outside and the inside. So there you have it, 8 powerful, science-backed reasons why added sugar is one of the most destructive forces in our modern diet. From damaging your heart and liver to accelerating the aging process, the evidence is clear. But the point of this video isn't to scare you, it's to empower you. Understanding these mechanisms is the first step toward taking control of your health. The good news is that it's never too late to make a change. The American Heart Association recommends limiting added sugars to no more than 25 grams, or about 6 teaspoons for women and 36 grams, or about 9 teaspoons for men daily. That might sound like a lot, but a single can of soda can blow past that limit. One of the biggest challenges is that sugar is hidden in countless products you wouldn't suspect. This is why you have to become a detective when you're at the grocery store. Watch out for hidden sugars in foods like sauces, salad dressings, flavored yogurts, breakfast cereals, and even savory snacks. Companies use dozens of different names for sugar, like corn syrup, dextrose, and maltose, to disguise it on the ingredient list. Always read the nutrition label and check the added sugars line to know exactly what you're getting. The most effective strategy is to shift your diet away from processed items and toward whole, unprocessed foods. Cutting back on processed foods, reading labels carefully, and choosing whole foods like fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats can help protect your health. When you eat fruit, for example, the sugar comes packaged with fiber, water, and nutrients, which slows its absorption and prevents the harmful spikes we've been talking about. Making these small, consistent changes can have a profound impact on how you look, feel, and function for years to come. Thanks for watching, and stay healthy.